And today's topic is 2001 movies. It's kind of interesting that 2001 movies are currently 25 years old this year. In September of this year, Americans are going to commemorate 25 years of 9/11. But I want to talk about 2001 films that were very popular at the time when 9/11 happened. I know 9/11 is a really terrible event, but I never witnessed it. I was way too young back then. I was a really big fan of trains back in those days. Back in 2001, I used to watch Tom the Tank Engine all the time, but I used to watch the Zemo the Alien videotapes. Have you guys ever watched Zemo the Alien videotapes? It's about a puppet alien who's basically an orange puppet. He talks about trains and airplanes and boats and emergency vehicles. Have you seen those tapes before? My family used to get them a lot from Hollywood Video. Those were the days before YouTube and streaming was getting videotapes in the video store. They used to be really entertaining to watch. In the summer of 2001, I'm trying to remember what films did I watch in the summer of 2001. I used to watch PBS Kids all the time back in those days. That was entertainment before YouTube and streaming were invented, was PBS Kids on television. I used to watch a lot of train movies on videotape. I was a really big fan of trains. I also like airplanes too, like passenger airplanes. So back in those days, my favorite things were policemen, firefighters, airplanes, and trains. What type of movies were good back in 2001 were good to see on the big screen? Yeah, I've already told you that I saw Jurassic Park 3 back in those days. And when I saw it on videotape, I thought Jurassic Park 3 was not a very good film. The dinosaurs are cool though, but the writing is really awful. The toys are really cool, so is the computer games. The computer games are a little bit too scary to me, but they're very educational though. It's made by game software. They made all sorts of educational games. Back in 2001, in the summer of that year, I think Spy Kids was a very popular film at that time. Remember that movie about these secret agent kids who had to rescue their parents? Was it a good movie or a bad movie? It's kind of like a mix. I thought it's a little bit like a bad film, but it has good music though. Lots of great special effects, but the storyline kind of sucks though. I kind of forgot there was a movie called Cats and Dogs. Does anybody else remember the movie Cats and Dogs? I don't remember that movie either. It's kind of interesting they made a sequel. I don't think anybody else remembered Cats and Dogs. I don't know anybody in my generation who ever saw that movie. It's about a secret agent war between cats and dogs. It's not too much a memorable film, but I do remember seeing that VHS cover of a cat and a dog staring at each other. I thought it's like a funny concept, like a war between cats and dogs. I thought they had guns to shoot each other, but no, they're just staring at each other, like a staring contest. Not using missiles and bombs and guns like soldiers do, or G.I. Joe action figures. I really can't remember. What was my favorite movie back in 2001? I don't think there's any films in that time were actually my favorite. Was Evolution my favorite movie back in that time? So was Tremors 3. When I was a kid, I used to call it Tremors Graboids. That's the name of those underground monsters that appear out of nowhere. Have you guys ever seen Tremors 3 when you were a kid? That was the last Tremors movie of the series, but it's kind of like the first Tremors movie I saw in my lifetime. It came out on videotape, but the fourth movie came out in 2015, so that took about 14 years to be made. And I thought Bert is one of my favorite movie heroes of all time. It's one of my dad's favorite movies too. It's scary though, but Bert is actually the most badass action hero of all time. Do you think he's more badass than Dr. Grant from Jurassic Park? Back in 2001, the most popular film was Shrek. Have you guys ever seen the Shrek movie? I don't know if I ever saw that movie. I only saw half the movie. I wasn't that interested. It has good animation though. You know, for the main character and stuff like that. He looks realistic. The donkey is pretty cute too. What about the story? Is the story any good? Not really. It's a little bit kind of offensive towards police officers. Can you imagine policemen will be watching and be like, wait a minute, we're bad guys? Our job is to fight bad guys. Is this a joke or something? We should arrest the filmmakers who made this movie. Can you imagine policemen would be saying that? The film actually takes place in the medieval times. Back in medieval times, governments are kind of evil. But in the 21st century, governments in America are good. They help other people. I didn't see it in theaters, but I do remember seeing it on TV screens where we're flying from Las Vegas to New York or Philadelphia or whatever on American West Airlines. That was the first time I saw Shrek. Oh yeah, that scene where that red-haired girl which means some green guy. It's like, what is this strange movie? Oh, it's Shrek. That's what it was. I remember that part how he rescued the red-haired girl. It's kind of funny how he showed the red-haired girl instead of kissing her in the lips like in fairy tales. I think it's a little bit inappropriate to kiss a girl while sleeping. In order to kiss a girl on the lips, you have to ask her for permission. It's kind of interesting that Jurassic Park 3 was not very popular at that time, but the movie Shrek did really good in the box office at that time, in the summer of 2001. I can't think of what other films do I remember back in 2001. Have you guys ever seen the movie Evolution? I don't think anybody in my life ever saw the movie Evolution. Remember that movie? The movie Evolution is about a gang of college professors who had to fight some aliens who had invaded Arizona. They have to use their science skills to fight the aliens. You can watch that movie on streaming. I thought it was a really cool film. It's funny though, but it has good music in it. It has good humor. I remember there's one part of the movie that I thought was kind of funny, how the monster is attacking a shopping mall, and then this one guy starts saying, "You are so beautiful to me." Remember that part in the movie? And starts doing those stupid noises? That's really funny to attract the alien. And then one of these scientists have shotguns to shoot the aliens. That's kind of cool, isn't it? They would even use army tanks to fight the aliens. Do you think evolution is kind of like Tremors? Well, the heroes do have guns. It takes place in the desert, of course. When I saw Evolution as a kid, I thought the movie takes place in Las Vegas because I grew up in Las Vegas. I grew up in the desert, of course. The movie actually takes place in Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona is kind of like Las Vegas, but there's no casinos. It's a little bit kind of far away from Las Vegas. I have never been to Phoenix, Arizona. It's kind of far away. It's like further down. And it's directed by Ivan Reitman. You know, the guy who did Ghostbusters. So Evolution's kind of like Ghostbusters with aliens instead of ghosts. And the film takes place in the desert, not in the big city like New York. What other movies do you remember back in 2001 that are your favorites? I totally forgot that Jimmy Neutron was a very famous movie back in 2001, but I never watched that movie, only half of it. I thought it was a really stupid cartoon. It's actually made into a TV series by Nickelodeon. Kind of lame, isn't it? It was a very famous cartoon back in that time. It's kind of interesting that the movie Shrek is the first cartoon movie to win an Oscar for Best Picture. Best Animated Picture, actually. I used to play a lot of computer games back in 2001, like Tonka computer games. Have you guys ever played Tonka computer games when you were a kid? Do you remember those controllers you put on the keyboard and you could make a vehicle move? Remember those toys? They used to be really cool. Nobody ever makes those type of games anymore. Sorry, my memory's a little bit kind of fuzzy. Back in 2001, I was more like a fan of airplanes and trains. I wasn't much a fan of movies. I thought some of the movies were kind of lame back in 2001. Trains are a lot cooler, don't you think? I forgot there was a Tomb Raider movie with Angelina Jolie. That came out in 2001, and that movie is currently 25 years old. It's about a boy who raids tombs and fight a robot and fight police officers who storm into his house. I know it's a girl. I don't think girls have guns and fight robots. I thought girls like kiss boys. Well, it's true, they do. There's not too many movies I've watched in my lifetime that have girls in it. Well, does Pixar movies have girls in it? Well, the main characters are boys, of course. Some of the train movies are about boys, not girls. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say bully. I should say Jolie. I guess, don't mind me. I'm not really a big fan of movie stars anyway. I thought movie stars are kind of boring. Trains and airplanes are a lot cooler, don't you think? I totally forgot there was a movie called Pearl Harbor that came out in 2001. A lot of people said it's a really bad film, but I don't remember the movie Pearl Harbor as a kid being that popular. My parents never mentioned that movie to me. It looks like an interesting film. Imagine if I watched it, I would enjoy it, especially it's about airplanes, like military airplanes. It's actually based on a real-life event back in 1941. You know, Pearl Harbor, you know, the bombing. But some people think, I guess my father thinks the Pearl Harbor movie is not that accurate anyway. The Tora Tora movie is more accurate than the Pearl Harbor movie. It's kind of interesting to have a couple of films in 2001 I noticed, and a couple of films I did not notice of. Harry Potter is one of the highest grossing movies in 2001, but that movie came out in the winter time. When I first saw Harry Potter as a kid, I thought it was a really strange movie. Well, because growing up in America, it's a normal society. When you watch Harry Potter, it takes place in a different country. The people talk weird, the cars look weird, even the houses look weird too. I thought the movie takes place in Las Vegas, Nevada. The houses look like Vegas, don't you think? Except it's kind of vintage and old-fashioned. Las Vegas, Nevada is modern and high-tech. The film actually takes place in London, and that's really far away from Las Vegas in California. What a strange-looking city. That's all the 2001 movies playing.